Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
High pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break,
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into the High Side Motorsports Season 2 for Round 3 here this evening as we come in to World Wide Technology Raceway, Gateway, for the third round of the season, brought to you by the Dirt Artist Excavations for the 150 miles of Gateway. Hamish Munro here with you this evening. Alongside me will be Magnus Anderson, stepping out of the driver's seat for the next few weeks as he's away from the rig and he comes into the booth to join us. Sort of a little expert colour commentary alongside. Magnus, welcome in. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight here at Gateway. It's been a long time since I've been here, but the one thing I often remember at this place is it's very, very difficult on tyres. It's a circuit that will offer up a lot of challenges to these drivers, and similarly to one of the tracks we've got coming up in a few weeks' time for Pocono, it's a driver's circuit. It takes a lot of skill to master Gateway, and it's going to offer up a big challenge to these drivers this evening.
Heck yeah, bud. It definitely is. I got the awesome opportunity to do a little bit of practice with my teammates and try to get them back up to speed. But one thing that I constantly hounded them on is this is a very difficult track for the fact that you have to change your braking points and your roll points, and you've got to constantly manipulate your line and how you take this track. You can't just run the same line the same way the whole race. You have to change it up, usually about every 5 laps, to be able to hold consistent and quality lap times to get you, hopefully, a win tonight.
Well, I think one of the main difficulties here at Gateway is going to be the fact that it is sort of, it's a misshapen, almost quad oval here. It's tighter at one end, it's wider at the other. So that changes how you enter and exit each corner of this circuit. All 4 of them will have a different approach / exit to them, and that's going to be one of the difficult parts for these drivers tonight. I think it's going to be, as you said, you're going to have to adjust across your stint. How's that going to affect your tyres? How's that going to affect how the car is going to be balanced? And then also, how much fuel are you going to be taking at each stop? Now, it should be a 3-stop affair tonight. The only world in which we get a 2-stopper is if we get bulk cautions throughout the race. Taking fuel at a particular time, it's going to completely change how your car feels and how it handles this whole circuit, because if you don't take a full tank, that's going to change the weight and the counterbalancing of the car, and how that adjusts across your race. I think that's going to take a lot of fine-tuned feeling from the drivers out there at high speed. And I hope for their sake we get a good clean green run early on, so they can get a feeling of what it's like as the car begins to lose that weight. It loses tyres are underneath it, and how that feels pushing on towards the stage end of lap 50.
Yeah, and with this Maconi setup, we did a preseason race here, and I came out on top, not to toot my own horn, but we were not running that Maconi setup. With this setup, you really don't have to downshift into 1, so that kind of opens up a different way to drive this track compared to what we had before in the preseason. With the tires and the fuel, you can beat people on all-out speed, but I foresee a lot of short pitting going on during this race to try to catch people out.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out and who can, plan their strategy the best. There's going to be, we're really not going to get the answers of how the strategies are played out until we get to that final stop and we know where drivers are situated. There's going to be a whole heap of factors that are going to be playing into that, though. Do you get involved in wrecks? Do you avoid the wrecks? Are there wrecks at all? Does it stay green the whole way? And then it truly comes down to driver skill, driver error, and as well pit stop skill and pit stop error as well. Have a look at the where we are in the championship at this point. Of course, round 3 tonight, World Wide Tech Centre, the Dirt Artist Excavations, 150 miles of Gateway this evening. Next week we go to Pocono, of course. Well, not next week, May 17th, 2 weeks' time we go to Pocono. Then 2 weeks after that, we're going to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So we've got a little bit of gap in between Pocono and the tracks either side of it. Then, of course, Michigan, round 6 will begin the in-season tournament before we head out to the All-Star race on June 14th out at Martinsville. So that's going to be a great test as well for those drivers too. Having a quick look at the championship standings, of course, Kevin Rinker. Well, he's on a perfect 140 points at this stage of the season, Magnus, and he looks really unbeatable at this point. He looks incredibly difficult to defeat. Cody Pruitt, though, Paul Harris, David Marotta, and yourself, Magnus, you're all wanting to put a bit of challenge to him across the next few rounds. With the momentum he's got, though, is there anyone out there right now that we think could beat him on circuit?
Well, no, not to diss Kevin Rinker. I think he's an excellent super speedway and mile-and-a-half racer. I think he's okay at short tracks. I think there might be a few people who can sneak up there tonight and definitely get a good finish. And we have to remember that this season is a chase format instead of a all points out format. So that large lead will help him going into the chase, but will not put him in a point where he's unbeatable.
That's true. It means that all he's going to be is he's going to be the first one to get locked into the chase if he remains on the run that he's on. Those final 5 rounds could have a part to play, especially with a road course in there as well. That's really going to shake things up in terms of the chase format later on this season, of course. There's a couple of drivers, obviously, that are hanging around the top 10. To no one's surprise, really, Charles Rinker, Rob Stevens Jr., Will McKellar, Jordan Miller, Zach Smothers, all those guys have been around the top 10 the last few weeks. So they've worked through their consistency to get up inside the 10, just outside Justin Day, Dalton Henson, Jesse James, Blake Hullett, Austin Stamper. Again, no real surprise they're around that point. They've had they've had a good drive and then an unfortunate drive through the first 2 rounds. So hopefully with the third round they can continue a good run of form, maybe sneak their way up towards the top 10. I'm interested to see what your teammate Ryan Hatch can do tonight. Now, he's had a couple of struggles across the first few weeks, and namely last season when we went to Pocono, he struggled at Pocono. Do we think he's going to struggle tonight here at Gateway, or can he put the pieces together and put together a great race? Because I think he's got the capability, but it's whether he can actually put those pieces together to do so.
I mean, we worked for a while on this track together, trying to get him up to speed, and I think he'll do very well tonight. I think his long run speed's very good. He's a dirt track guy like me, so he's all about hunting around and trying to find a better way around the track. Unfortunately, with this style of track, there's only one line, but it's how you attack that one line that really sets yourself apart in terms of lap time. So we'll see what happens there. Another person that on this list is Charles. I think he might have a really good night tonight, as well as Mike. I also think Cliff Adams might be someone that might come in there. A Posey as well. I don't know if he's racing tonight, but if he is, I know he's
now moved over to race control. So I don't believe he's
racing
wow. the rest of the season. So, but his points are there because he has scored points. So they are there for that reason. I am also going to send you as well, Magnus, to help you along tonight, a live timing link so you can see where drivers are all throughout the race. I just realised that.
Beautiful.
I mean, I'm interested to see what Mike does tonight. He's struggled in the first 2 rounds. It's really not up to par with the rest of his team over the first few weeks. So we'll see if he can try and swing the momentum around and get a good finish tonight. We'll see how Bailey Brannon can do as well, obviously. Still without a race win. He struggled in round 1, didn't end up actually getting to the end of the race. In round 2, he didn't compete because he was at Talladega. So we'll see what he can do as he now returns. Now, as a college graduate, prior to now, he graduated over the weekend. So congratulations to Bailey. We'll see if a college degree can get him a race win in iRacing. Here tonight. Quick look at the team standings too, as qualifying's underway at the moment. 325 Racing dominating proceedings right now. They are the team to beat at this stage. Hobnobber Racing, they are sneaking their way up there. And then Infinity Motorsport, Cornman Racing as well, and Bucket Motor Club are the other teams to be over 200 points at the moment. Those top 6 teams, well, they're all the 4-driver teams, so they're all, of course, going to be challenging each other. But there's a little bit of back and forth right now between who's going to claim that P2 in the championship after tonight. Will it be Hobnobber Racing or Infinity Motorsport? Cornman Racing, your team's not really going to be able to challenge for it too easily tonight with you off the circuit, Magnus. But if there's a poor performance from one of those other teams, there still could be some points on offer for Cornman, and who knows, Ryan, Jordan, and Cliff could get a 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden I've got egg on my face, and they've climbed up the standings significantly.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Just looking through the times right now, Ryan Hatch right on top. That's looking pretty good. Kevin Rinker up there as well. Jesse James up there. Cliff Adams, Jordan Miller. It looks like we have a pretty good field here.
Yeah, we do indeed, as we'll take a quick look at the starting grid for tonight's race. It will be Ryan Hatch starting alongside Nick Mercero on the front row of the grid. In behind them, we'll find row 2 with Austin Stamper and Kevin Rinker starting in P4 here this evening. So only 3 positions needed to be gained for the championship leader if he wants to take another race win here this evening. To row 3, we'll find Cody Pruitt and Bailey Brannan alongside each other. The P6 goes to the number 6 in qualifying. Brannan gets that car up into the top 3 rows for the evening. Row 4 will find Jesse James and Cliff Adams alongside each other for the top 8. Before we get to row 5, we find Jordan Miller and Charles Rinker out there for the top 10 as well. To row 6, we then have Nate Owen and Paul Harris alongside each other for the top 12. Row 7, in behind those guys for the top 14, we'll find Zach Smathers and Blake Hullett alongside each other as well. For the top 15, we'll find Trey Martin alongside Stephen Linger just outside of it in P16 as well to the 9th row. In behind them, we have Justin McCurdy and Justin Day, and all Justin 9th row of the grid. For the 10th row and the top 20, we find Will McKellar and Mike Rinker. A horrid qualifying from those 2 drivers of 325 Racing. They'll have work to do to fight their way up the order here this evening. To row 11 in behind them, we find Robert Stevens Jr. and Dalton Henson off pace in qualifying. We'll have to see what he can do in the race. And to the final row of row 12, it's Damon Marotta and John Roberts making up the top 24. So 24 rows, or 24 drivers, 12 rows of drivers as well here tonight. And hopefully it's a nice, clean run across the race. But Hatch up in pole, well, he's proven it already. He's got the pace to do well tonight. Can he put the pieces together and get himself a race win? Lap 50 will be the stage end. It's 120 laps across the race as well, Magnus. And the difficult part is after 25 laps, the tyres will begin to fade on you quite significantly. So the choice is, do you take tyres on your first stop to get you to the stage end, or do you just take fuel, get some track position, and hope you can hold on in a green flag run to the stage end? Take tyres at the halfway point of the race, just about at lap 50, and then push on towards critical lap of lap 85.
I always say saving tires is a big thing. Having an extra set on the wall ready to go late in the race is huge. So if it were up to me, if I was telling my teammates right now, I'd say save that set.
See how well they can save as drivers begin to traverse around up towards the back end of the circuit. Hatch and Mercero on the front row as well. We've already got a heap of chats out there with us tonight too. Cully Parker was out there early, giving love to Jesse James. Tower operator giving the love to Kevin Rinker, of course. Jack was in the chat saying, when can we see Hamish do a lap guide each week for everyone that he actually drives? I don't know, Jack. I don't know what I'll be able to do track guides. Joe Dyson in the chat.
You want me to do a track guide for you?
We could do it. We could do that, Magnus. Joe Dyson's out in the chat as well, just before we get to green. Good luck all. Unfortunately, I had a house fire this past week and just getting the house redone. Well, hearts go out to you, Joe. Hopefully we see you back again with us very, very soon as we get to green flag racing here out at Gateway for round 3. As we enter turn 1 and Ryan Hatch looks to hold on to this race lead early. Can he do it here tonight?
Side by side down the backstretch. I'll tell you what though, like racing side by side here, especially in a 1 and 2, is a little difficult because that outside lane's got to give you room, and if you can't roll it correctly, you're going to go very, very wide. But it looks like Nick was able to hold it.
He's done well, and in fact, he's now taken the race lead as we come up towards the line and begin lap 2 here this evening. So Mercero in the lead. Rinker looks to take the outside line through 1 and 2 to go to P2 here. Hatch has already dropped down to P3. Brannan doing well up into P4. Stamper, Pruitt, James, Adams, Miller, Rinker. That's the top 10 as we ride down towards turn 3 once again. But as the car develops throughout this stint, and as the car develops across this race as well, we're going to get a good idea of who are the strong players here tonight. And right now, Mercero and Rinker, they look strong at the front end of town. Can they hang on to some good positioning as Rinker takes the race lead into turn 1? And he's already looking strong, Magnus. Can anyone challenge him here tonight? Because he's already up in the race lead by the beginning of lap 3.
Well, one thing to remember is that you can burn off your tires at the beginning, and you'll never have them again. So we'll have to see what happens later in the run here. I'll be interested to see where the field kind of lays out at about lap 20.
Well, we'll see how that runs, of course. Speaking to Charles Rinker pre-race, told me that after about lap 25, the times will drop down by around about a second, which is quite a significant drop-off in lap time. So if we do go green to that point, there is a certain marker that you can get to actually get to the end of the stage, but it is around that lap 20 marker as well. There's a driver out there who's struggling, who was knocking into the wall. I think it might have been Austin Stamper.
I did see that up top of my screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the car that it was. It was Nate Owen. Nate Owen in the 19. Every time he's come through turn 2, I've seen him just scrape the wall. That's going to take some proper damaging tonight, because if he continues to do that lap after lap, the car is not going to remain healthy across the process of this race.
This might be a track where you might be able to helm mail in, but not every lap.
No, I don't think you want to chastain every single lap that you can. You don't really want to be just living on that wall as Rinker, Miller and Stamper battle for position here at the back end of the top 10. Kevin Winker, though, in control here onto lap 6 of 50 for the first stage. And now, obviously, good little green flag run here across the first 6 laps, Magnus. And what's the mentality like at this point? Are you hoping it's going to remain green, get into a rhythm, or are you hoping there could be a few cautions coming across the next few laps?
Usually when I race, I settle in. I look at my relative, and I look and see who's pulling away from me, who I'm beating, and then I determine, am I really pushing the car? Am I 50%? Am I 75%? Right now, if I was in this race, I'd be about 75%. When looks like we had someone really loose off of 2.
Yeah. Well, Austin Stamper right now is under pressure here from Smathers, so there's been some pressure applied to all these drivers as Pruitt goes up into P2. So good move there from Cody Pruitt. Good podium finish for him last week as well. Great drive from Cody Pruitt when we were out last time, of course, for round 2.
Yeah, I got to talk to him a little bit after that race. He was really happy about it, and I'm really happy for him. He's a good driver, very clean, races you hard, but races you fair. And that's kind of the people that I like racing around. So it's nice to see him up there.
He's doing well. And it's good to see from Cody too. He had some very difficult runs early last season, but had some strong finishes later on. It's been a big blink. Was that Bailey Brannon? No, he's still running, but I thought I just saw one of those cars blink out of existence for a moment there. Brannon wants this outside run on Ryan Hatch. Watch for Jesse James in behind him as well. So there's been some good gains from the old guard of High Side here. Brannon's back up 2 positions. James up 1 after starting inside of the top 10. Charles Rinker up 3. And I must say, I do love this 8 Heatwave car. This may be my favorite livery in the whole field outside of my own teams. I think this thing looks incredible on Charles's car. And how good would it be, Magnus, to see this thing in victory lane tonight? That'd be a fantastic view for the Bucket Motor Club members.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good. I like that paint scheme. I'm a little biased on mine, but
I mean, I think there's always that little bit of bias of, oh well, I like my own teams, but let's give some onus and some pride to those out there who've done well and got a lovely looking car on the circuit for us as well. We are 1/5 of the way through the first stage. We've gone green the whole way here for the first 10 laps. It's been great to see from these drivers, but ultimately, once we see that tyre fall off after 20 odd laps, as Stamper looks to the inside of McKellar here, we're probably not going to see the cars getting ultimately loose until after around about that lap 20 to 25 marker as the tyres start to fall away from the Magnus. And I think the most likely time we're going to see self-made cautions where it's a car getting loose and making a mistake is going to be after the long runs. I think we can remain green early because of the tyre wear underneath the cars. But as the stage goes on and as the stint goes on, I think that's when we'll start to see a little bit of fall off, and that's when we'll see some mistakes being made from some drivers out there.
one person to talk about, looking at my scoring sheet, Robert Stevens is 67, up 8 positions right now. He's looking pretty good.
He has somehow found a way. Most weeks when he races, he just sneaks his way forward. He is such a technically sound driver. He might struggle in qualifying sometimes, but in the race, he just finds a way to hanker down and just push on. And he's found some good positioning early in this race. He's under pressure here from McKellar, who's having to fight his way forward. He's up 5 as well after a poor qualifying. So I think both of these guys are looking possibly to work together here to fight their way forward and get themselves into the top 10 as well. But they've got to make their way past your teammate Cliff Adams, as further up the field, Cody Pruitt and Nick Mercereau battle for position. But they've got to try and get through your teammate Cliff Adams and, well, my 3 teammates, Paul Harris, Zach Smathers and Trey Martin, to get inside of the top 10. So that's going to take a little bit of work from those guys to try and make it in there.
Yeah, I think right now it's really settling in and seeing where... Ooh, we got someone plowing tight off the corner.
Yeah, that was Mercereau and Pruitt into the wall then, and James looked like he got loose off the inside. So all 3 of those guys made, well, 2 different mistakes, but that's going to drop them a little bit of time here as James is now under pressure from Hatch and Rinker. Tucks in between them, and it's our single line of turn up towards turn 1. Hatch to the outside, James on the inside. Can he make a move? Oh, running a little bit deep. They hold on to it somehow. We're going to have to be, if they come together, Magnus, we're going to have to be the representatives of both sides of the party.
Well, there might have been some extracurricular words being said right there.
They survive for now. They hold on to it at this stage. Winker, though, now with a 1.3 second gap over Bailey Brannan. So he's beginning to run away.
One thing to look at as this run goes on, though, is like I said, you can't gain back the tires that you burned off. And we're at the point where we're going to see who really has a car and who's going to be the comers and goers. Because everyone can be a hero on on fresh tires, but it really takes a driver to drive on not fresh tires.
That's right.
So we'll see where the field kind of plays out here.
Well, also as well, it takes some proper driving ability to save tires as well across the stint to nurse them early on and maintain a long distance run of, quality tires on board your car. As James continues to feel the pressure here from Pruitt and Rinker. Pruitt got super low then. I have to wonder, did he get loose off of turn 2? Because he's just dropped position there as Stevens now gets past Harris. Watch for Cliff Adams as well, though, as this battle tightens up. So they run it around turn 4. We are 18 laps, or onto lap 18, sorry, of the first 50 here for stage 1. And I'm very impressed thus far, Magnus. They've kept it pretty clean. I must say, the last time I was here, it was very chaotic. It was a very chaotic race the last time I was here at Gateway. These drivers have done well to keep it clean, and honestly, after the first few weeks, I'm impressed by the fact that they've actually managed to go green for this long at the early point of this race. It's really, really good to see from the whole field. Now, there is that little bit of fuel spread right now, but the longer this race remains green, the more pressure it's going to put on some of these drivers making a choice in pit lane of, well, do you take tyres? Do you not take tyres? Do you try and take some track position? It's all going to be a balancing act for them to try and maybe get some stage points heading into lap 50 later on in the race.
You can really bonsai into these corners, so it's clean now. I think everyone's just kind of finding their pace, but later in this race, I foresee we'll see a little bit of body damage, a little bump and runs, some good hard racing.
We're on board right now with Robert Stevens Jr. from Roanoke, Virginia. He's currently P11 on the road in the 6-7 entry. He's up 10 positions in this race, the only driver to be up double digits at this stage. And he's finding it tough right now to get past those Infinity Motorsport cars of Trey Martin and Zach Smathers, who have found their way into the top 10. But now Stevens has got to run to the outside on Smathers. He'll drop him a position and tuck in between the both of them in towards turn 3, but he's a little bit deep. Smathers, can he get back past him?
Now, if you can roll that corner wide and suck up to the door of that car on the inside of you, you can get a pretty good run off, and it looks like that's what he did. You got to play with the throttle, though, through that corner and figure out where you're going to get the most grip.
It was a good move. Way up there, but now he's under pressure once again. So many chats out there already. It's great to have you all out there with us. As we're saying, our heart goes out to Joe Dyson after the house fire earlier in the past week. So hopefully we'll see you back again with us soon, Joe, out on track as well. But as you say, family does come first. Breaking Wilson's 99, that is Mr. Smathers' wife. Is now decided that this week is Stone Cold Week. It's not Macho Man Week, it's Stone Cold Week. So if we get a caution, I will read out a few of those chats in the Stone Cold Week just for you. Melanie Barker as well, getting the love to Austin Stamper. Chakos saying if I do the track guides, he wants me to see me Chastain at every track guide out there. So maybe I can. He's also stated though, Magnus, that you send it with hands like dinner plates as well. So. That's a little inside reference to fellow Australians. As John Roberts is into pit lane, McKellar's been in as well on lap 20. So we've had some early stops here, Magnus. Very interesting point of the race to come in now. This feels slightly too early. Now it's
feel
full
like
set.
you're wasting a set of tires here.
Yeah, Roberts has just taken a full set. McKellar's only taken fuel. That's a massive early gamble for Roberts to come in now, only 23 laps in, when he could get another 10 laps out of the tank of fuel and out of the set of tyres as well. I don't know how I feel about that. He's probably trying to undercut some drivers, but the issue will be within 10 laps when the rest of the field has cycled through pit lane, he's already going to have 10 lap old tyres. If the rest of the field takes a fresh set leading towards the stage, he's going to be in a very poor position because everyone else is going to be on fresh green tyres. As Marotta's in, Charles Rinker's in as well. So they come into pit road right at the quarter marker, and I think Charles, what he might be trying to do right now is split the stage in half, knowing of that time drop off across the next 10 laps, knowing you're going to drop about a second per lap now with old tyres. So we'll see if this plays out for Charles and if he's going to take tyres. I know it feels very, very early. But I suppose they're splitting the stage in half. It's been a green flag run. Marotta, by the way, has got a black flag for an unsafe pit entry. He's sat there now for 35 seconds, so that's not a healthy helping for him. Rinker has taken a full set.
You know what they say? Old strategy, Cotton. We'll see how this one plays out.
Right you are. But,
Don't you love having me in the booth?
well, mate, this is the first time that I haven't had to make that reference. Someone else has made that reference. So I appreciate that one. So Charles Rinker's come out of pit road with a full set of tyres, and he's come out right near Will McKellar. So this should give us an indication of where McKellar's going to be in the field once everyone else is cycling through pit lane. As Brannon's into pit lane now as well. We'll see what he does, whether he takes a full set or not. Now, to give the timing to everyone, or to give the timing update to everyone, 14.5 seconds is tyres. That's a full set. 8 seconds to 9 seconds is right sides. Anything less is only fuel. So that's the time differential for you of where we're going to be heading. So Brannon in, he is taking right side tyres. Is he going to take lefts? He is. So it's a full set.
There he is.
Yep, full set for Brannon. What about Stamper? Will he take tyres here on this stop, knowing that there's 25 laps to go, or under 25 laps to go on this stage? Is it going to be the betterment of decision not taking tyres, or is it going to be better to take tyres? Now, McKellar's last lap for reference was a 34.6. Rinker's was a 33.9. So there's already 0.7 of a second difference between a fresh tyre runner and an old tyre runner in this race. So it might be the betterment of decision to take some tyres now, but I do think they've come in slightly early and they're going to wear these tyres out now across the next portion of the stint.
Well, you know, with how long the lap is, you know, if they're in your relative about 5 seconds back, you could still pit and be comfortable. Where I would worry is if they pass you and then you pit, you might come out a little shuffled out of position. But, you know, knowing Rinker, his fuel strategy is always, I want to make it to the end, the least amount of stops as possible. So I'd imagine he's going to stay out a while. Same with the 24 and Hatch. I don't know about Pruitt.
The main issue for him is to get to the end in 2 stops, he has to save. If I do the quick maths here, he has to save 1.1 gallons to get to lap 40 to split this race into thirds. He has to save 1.1 gallons. It is doable.
That's easily doable.
But it is, you know, he doesn't normally give up pace when he's fuel saving either. As Pruitt, James, Smathers and Martin are all into pit lane now. Paul Harrison as well, as we get to the beginning of lap 31 at 50 here, so some more stoppers are in. We'll see where Charles Rinker compares to Cody Pruitt when he runs out of pit lane. But you can see Rinker here, he's unlapping himself over the likes of Hatch and Merceros. This is time that's being gained on this fresh set of tyres for Charles Rinker. As he screams past pit road, he'll gain on all of them. And he gets past Cody Pruitt. So Rinker's going to be up and around the podium for the stage end based on this run thus far, because he's already unlapped himself over those guys as McKellar and Brannon. Oh, that was really loose then. That was really... Who was that?
It looked like Hatch spun out there.
I think it was. He's dropped a lot of time. That's going to cost Hatch massively now leading up to the stops here. Oh, would he have been better coming into pit lane after that spin, though?
I think I would have came in.
Yeah, you would have given up some time.
Managed the time lost.
Yeah. So
but if he's trying to save that set, I mean, I think he's better off just staying out and saving the fuel at this point.
Yeah. So Brannon, who's taken tyres, is now chasing down his teammate Charles Rinker. McKellar, who didn't take tyres, could be under pressure shortly from some drivers that will look to chase him down. Although Martin hasn't taken them, Pruitt has, James has, Smathers hasn't. Although he may have taken right sides because he's taken a 9.15 second stop. But we've still got 15 or 16 laps to go in the stage before those points are allocated. And we're awaiting the likes of Winker, Mercero, Hatch, Adams, Miller. Pretty much the whole top 11 to come to back down.
Well, here's the other thing. If those cars stay out, you take half the field out of the race, as long as they don't get past Winker and keeping them lapped down.
Yeah. And that offers up some proper struggle. I mean, you know, knowing that we've had a long green run, if we all of a sudden get a caution as Henson comes in with all those cars a lap down, it's going to take multiple cautions for them to get back into this race. And it could be a death sentence very, very early on for a lot of those drivers that are stuck far down the field here tonight. So Charles Rinker, by the way, has just unlapped himself on Kevin Winker. So if there is a caution, he's now at no pressure to go a lap down. Bailey Brannon is still looking to chase him down here. I think Winker's going for lap 40. He's trying to fuel save this thing to lap 40 because he's already gone to lap 36. I have a feeling that this is the Kevin Winker strategy of the evening here, Magnus, to get himself to only having to take 2 stops. Possibly, no, he is going to come in. So Winker's into pit road. The issue would have been for him is he would have to save across every single stint, and to save in the last stint would be very, very tough because everyone's going to be at full pace, and he would not want to have to be limiting himself by trying to save fuel to get home in only 2 stops. As Mercer and Hatch
well, it looks like Hatch is coming in too.
He is. Cliff Adams has stayed out for an extra lap.
I would take the splash.
Yeah.
If I was Cliff, I'd try to make it work. You're so close to the end here.
13 laps. Rinker's unlapped himself. So at this point, Charles is going to pass Cliff Adams no matter what. But do you take the splash and hope that you get a podium in the stage? I mean, that might have to be the key strategy here for Cliff Adams, just to try and counteract some of that gain that those, you know, fresh tyre runners would have gotten off of this last stop. As
I think
Charles,
you'd take the splash, save the set, and replace the set at the stage caution. And then everyone else is going to have to get tires with you. So they've burned 2 sets and you've burned 1.
So to confirm off this last stop, Charles Rinker is now the corrected race leader. He has passed Kevin Winker in pit road thanks to the fresh tyres. Brannon has got himself up in a corrected P3. Mercero's into P4. Pruitt is in P5. Although some cars are now exiting pit road. Adams has taken a right side splash. He's taken 9.95 seconds, so he's taken right sides. Ryan Hatch has taken right sides as well. Trey Martin, only fuel. Stevens, fuel and tyres. Smathers, right sides. Roberts, full set. As Mike Rinker's now into pit road, and Charles Rinker takes the race lead with 12 to go in the stage. And with Kevin Winker on old tyres, he cannot challenge the pace that the 8 car has at the front end of town here. That's contact with the 11. McCurdy and Henson make contact together. Henson's now gone to the inside. And actually it wasn't McCurdy, it was Justin Day. This is what's happened between them. So, Justin Day, although that's already when it's happened, so let's do a little sneaky here and just go backwards because something has happened with McCurdy. I was right, it is McCurdy and Henson. So,
I think he got loose on exit.
Yeah.
He's loose right there.
Oh,
loose,
and you
loose,
see
loose.
there, McCurdy's come out of pit lane. And as he's come out of pit lane, the contact's been made with Henson here. There you see it there.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's real rough. Oh, that's a real shame. That's a real shame for Justin McCurdy. And Henson's now back in pit road.
Especially with no caution to bail you out.
Yeah.
That's going to really kill your chances tonight.
Well, the problem would have been for McCurdy, Day, Linger, Marotta, Owen, and now Henson, if there was a caution, Day and below would have all been trapped a lap down on the race leaders. McCurdy would be the only one to get back onto the lead lap. So this has worked out incredibly well though for Charles Rinker with 10 to go in the stage. Kevin Winker finds himself in P2, but he's dropping time dramatically here to Rinker. Could Brannon get past him, being that he is on a full set of fresh tyres? And can Brannon make it a 1-2 finish in the stage for Bucket Motor Club with 9 to go? He's got to chase down a 2.5 second deficit here. But last lap he was only 0.6 of a second, Magnus, faster than what Kevin was the last time round.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's going to be a hell of a chase down if it can happen. John Roberts, we saw him take a full set earlier on. Well, he's now found himself up 10 and into P14. He's got Paul Harris and Austin Stamper either side of him. There's Zach Smathers, who took the right sides on the last run through pit lane. Harris, well, he wants some stage points knowing that he's P3 in the championship right now. So he needs to try and get this car forward and continue to gain some points here tonight. But he's got 2 cars to contest with to get inside of the top 10. His teammate Trey Martin and then Cliff Adams, who sits P10 on the road at this stage. Ryan Hatch, by the way, because they've taken right sides. This has now dropped the time for a lot of drivers. So for Hatch, Adams, Martin and Smathers, and then the likes of Austin Stamper, this has been a big loss in terms of the run to the stage end. But they'll have an advantage now for the race end because they're going to have, 2 full sets available to them towards the race end here. But I don't see the point in them taking right sides when they could have just taken a splash and taken no tires at all. And had a free,
I think the right sides were to shorten the pit stop on the stage break.
Yeah.
So you go in, get your left sides, take your splash, and come out ahead of everyone who's going to take 4.
Would it be worth taking lefts though at that point? Because your right sides are going to be damaged. Would it be worth taking the left-hand side tires?
It'll change the balance of your car a little bit. It'll tighten it up just a little bit. So it might honestly help a little bit later in the long run to have newer left sides.
Well, right now Bailey Brannon has got 5 laps to get past Kevin Winker. who is on old tyres at this stage. Now, Rinker could still get a podium here in the stage, but he's struggling on old rubber as Braden wants this round the outside. Can he make this line
crossover?
stick? Oh! I thought it looked like Rinker was going to come up and slide job in front of him then. That was very, very scary, and you saw Braden get loose, but he pushes on once again, and it's still back
set
and
him
forth.
up for a good crossover here and just get the position.
He's got it done.
He'll muster around him.
It's a good move from Braden now. It's a 1-2 for Bucket Motor Club here in the stage. In fact, Rinker is about to allow Nate Owen to at least unlap himself one lap over Rinker. So that's the differential. Next car on the list is Cody Pruitt. Does he have enough laps though in the stage to get past Rinker and gain some points on the championship leader here tonight? Three to go as Charles Rinker looks unchallenged at the front of the field. He is in control at this point of this race and looks to take 10 points in the stage end. This is going to be a huge result for Bucket Motor Club here in stage 1 to take a 1-2 finish here with 2 laps to go when they cross the line. Can Cody Pruitt chase down that gap up to Kevin Rinker? Paul Harris has now found himself inside of the top 10 and is on the tail of Ryan Hatch. Can they race nice and tidy to the stage end? We saw them tangle last week and we're racing for round 2 out of the Las Vegas 150. Are they going to be able to hold it together here towards the end of this stage? There's only 2 to go and 1 extra stage point available to whoever comes out the victor.
Be an interesting battle to see. Looks like Hatch gets a little loose, a little block here. He's going to give him the inside.
Well, Harris is on that full set of fresh tyres, so he should have the tyre advantage. He's only got 1 lap to do this now as Charles Rinker gets us to lap 50. It's 1 to go in the stage. Once this lap ends, that's when the stage will get classified. Can Harris sneak this car forward by 1 position? Hatch really needs his teammate Adams now to put a bit of work in here to help him out as they run up towards turn 1.
Hatch can roll that outside. I think he's got him.
As Charles Rinker will win stage 1. Bailey Brannan comes home P2. Rinker survives in P3. Pruitt home in P4. Jesse James will come home in P5 ahead of Robert Stevens, who's up 15 right now. Nick Mercero in P7 to Will McKellar in P8. With Ryan Hatch surviving in P9. Harris is there in P10. It's a drag race to the line for the stage end. They can't quite get it though.
And we need to talk to Charles Rinker. Why don't you bring him up here?
Yeah, we'll grab Charles and have a quick chat to him as the stage winner.
Hello there.
Welcome in, Charles. Congratulations. Stage win. Great strategy.
Thank you.
Both Magnus and I thought, it might be a couple laps too early, but it worked out beautifully for you in terms of an undercut. Well done.
Yeah, I figured an undercut would have worked well. I know Bailey went a few laps later, and you could see the gap. The undercut worked really well there.
Well, I mean, it's a stage
Are
win.
you worried about not having an extra set of tires towards the end of the race?
No, because I figured long run on the second half of the race would be better because their chances of cautions are dramatically more on the second half with how clean we were at the first half. So I'm thinking I'll get a little bit more life out of those tires, hopefully.
Well, I hope it plays out for you. We're rooting for you.
It was a good win, Charles. You mentioned earlier on that you've probably got my favourite livery in the field outside of my own teams, and it'll be good to see it in victory lane tonight. So we'll see if you can make it there and do the double and get the perfect points here at Gateway. We'll let you get in the pit box and we'll let you get going. But congratulations and best of luck now for the second portion of this race in the final 70 laps. Well, what a stage win for him, Magnus. I don't mind the thought process. What I do mind is, though, Robert Stevens came in on 32. And he's not coming onto this stage. Very interesting choice. Knowing that we've gone green this whole way, this is a very bold strategy of Stevens. Bailey Brannan, by the way, has just taken a full set of tyres. So Bailey has now only got one set left in this race. That is, I think, a huge mistake from Brannan. I think that is a
Well, if it goes
mammoth
green,
mistake.
it'll play out. But if we have a caution with 20 to go, and there's people coming in to get tires, it's really going to burn him. But we'll have to see. And I mean, he's not racing for points, so he can be a little bit more iron in the shorts, if you know what I mean.
Well, we'll see if this plan pays out for him. So, to confirm, Rob Stevens has not pitted under the stage. This is going to be a nail in the coffin for his race. This is going to drop him right down the back of the order when he inevitably has to come into pit road again. He cannot make it to critical lap from this point of the race. Everyone else who is pitted can make it to critical lap from here. So Robert Stevens is going to have to take 2 stops to the end of this race. Everyone else only has to take 1. So for Stevens, this is a horrible, horrible choice, Magnus, it must be said, as we line up too wide for the restart.
He might be banking on a caution.
He might
I think
be,
it's a
but
risky call to bank on a caution.
Well,
but
the problem is with the caution, if it happens, he's going to drop to the back of the field. I mean, that's the
he's
main
gonna have
issue.
the freshest set of tires, and he's been a climber the whole race. He's been moving up spots the whole race. So I think if a caution comes out in perfectly timed for him, it's going to work out for him.
Well, we're going to get ready to go to the restart zone, and off this restart, we're going to get into our Rinker Construction Remodeling Crank It Up segment here this evening for the Dirt Artist Excavations 150. It's Rob Stevens Jr. and Cody Pruitt in the top 2 for the restart. Who's going to take advantage in the first few laps as it's time to crank it up for green flag running in stage 2. Well, it appears we're going one more lap here, Magnus. I built all that up. And the pace truck's not actually coming
quite
yet.
the crank up.
Yeah, we've really cranked it up right now.
I love the sounds of cars pacing.
I think the problem is they've got an extra lap because I think Damon Marotta actually made a mistake as he came past the pace truck. So I believe we're going to be going green at the end of this lap. Now we are. The lights are out on the pace truck, so I built it up for your last lap. It's going to be this next few laps though. Rinker Construction Remodeling.
See the
crank
energy.
it up. Yeah, the energy's going to be massive here for this Crank It Up segment once again. But Rinker Construction Remodeling bringing it to us here this season. Who is going to take advantage off this restart? Can Stevens hold on at the front of the field after not pitting under the stage end? Or is he going to get eaten alive by cars that are now on 20-lap newer tyres? I don't think he's going to survive very long at the front end of town, knowing the sort of pace discrepancy that fresh tyres gave to those runners. We'll see how it all pans out. He's still not come in. So the lights are out on the pace truck, but he's still not in. This is very, very weird. They've actually turned the back on again, so I think they want the rest of the field to actually catch up. So we hope for a restart now.
We have this time.
Since we have this time.
Fun fact for you there, Hamish. I've been noticing on your cars, your flag's backwards on your roof.
That's because if you look at it from the crowd side, it's the right way around.
Well, not to get too technical here, but U.S. flag code dictates that the stars should always be facing forward.
Well, if you're watching it from the crowd, though, technically it would be facing forward.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, although the number's upside down for that excuse as well. But
all right, well, let's crank it up. Come on.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get
grab a cold one.
Let's get the pace truck in. Let's crack open a cold one. We're going to crank it up for the first few laps of stage 2. Pace truck is in. And the RCR Crank It Up zone is about to light up with stage 2 action to the race end. It's green flag, 64 laps to go at Gateway. Back from the RCR Rinker Construction Remodeling Crank It Up segment off of the stage 2 start. We're lap 59 of 120, 62 laps to go. We've got a hot battle here for around about 5th place back. It's really heating up with Pruitt, Adams, McKellar, Hullett, Harris, Day, Mike Rinker, Trey Martin, Stephen Linger. All these guys are battling hard as they fight for top 10 supremacy towards critical lap of lap 85. Stevens is now under pressure here from Mercer. O'Brien has broken away, by the way, 1.3 seconds on those fresh tyres as we got the first caution of the race. Stephen Linger has had a moment off of turn 4. And this is now the moment that those drivers who didn't take tyres on the stage end would be hoping for.
I'm telling you, it played right into his hands.
On the outside, Martin on the inside. Oh, little slide job up.
Little help.
And straight in the rear of him. That might find Martin at the back end of the field after that one. Let's try and get a better view of it. Because from the outside, it does look like Martin just rides up on him and collides with the left-hand rear of Linger.
Yeah, he's just pushing off the corner and
the slightest of
touched
touches.
him.
Yeah, slightest of touches. Could have happened at any point to anyone.
Yeah, not on purpose, just running out of room. It's been a really clean race. Like, I'm really proud of these guys.
I am too.
I think it's because I'm in the booth.
I was going to say, Magnus, that there might be a correlation here. That when you're not on track, we have clean green racing.
Well, I told everyone I was going to talk some smack about them if they're driving like idiots, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of smack to be given right now.
No, I think they're the, as a couple of cars are coming in, so Charles Rinker's coming in here to take some fuel.
I think a top off right here is a good idea.
Last stop as well. So, little top off of fuel for these cars. Stevens, Pruitt, Rinker, Roberts, Linger, all in off this free pit stop now. The issue becomes, though, Magnus, if this is now a caution fest for the next portion of this race, this may be a null and void strategy for them, ultimately. The only reason I don't know. Is we've got to get out to lap 85 before we can get home. Now, this will overextend their stint slightly, but knowing that they need to pit again, because they can't get home from this point, knowing they have to pit again, and it's going to be 20 laps worth of fuel that they're going to need, roughly, like it's a pretty tough ask. We've had the call now that we have actually got a caution. I did remember I did state this, Magnus, that Stone Cold Hamish would read out those comments from the lovely Mrs. Smathers in the chat with us here tonight. So I'll read a few of them.
Smathers is about to open up a can of whoop ass on this track. Arrive, race hell, leave, and that's the bottom line.
There's my Stone Cold impression, Magnus. What's your review of
Oh,
that
that
one?
was pretty good.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. All right. Oh, there's another one here as well.
Smathers doesn't care about the odds, and neither do I. He's about to stump a mud hole in this field and walk it dry, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
I'll read the others if we get another question. We'll go two at a time.
Oh, you want to know what's funny is Jordan Miller out on track. I'm actually going to his wedding here in October, and I am have the distinct pleasure of being the beer boy for his wedding, and I am coming out to the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme song and handing out beers.
Amazing.
Honestly, I think I might need a bald eagle on my shoulder.
You know what? You may need one. And the closest way you're going to get to that though is if you get a bald eagle tattoo on your shoulder. Now,
Well,
it should,
you want to know
it
what's
should
funny?
be.
I have
It should be an
a bald eagle tattoo on my shoulder.
I was going to say it should be an actual bald eagle where it's just an eagle with no feathers on its head. It's just bald.
Oh, I'll have that, but I do have a bald eagle on my shoulder.
Bailey Brannon, though, gets us back to the restart zone. 57 to go here in stage 2. As he's rocketed away off the start line. Adams and Mercero battle away for position. Hatch is up there too in the top 5. Watch for McKellar, Hullett, Day, Harris, Rinker, and Smathers. That's the top 10. As cars have been through pit road with a little bit of offset of fuel, but we've still got 20 laps until we get to critical lap here tonight to be able to make it home from one more pit stop here at Gateway. And look at the gaggle of cars, Magnus, in behind this front pack. I mean, oh, Mike Rinker contact with Hullett. That was so close. So close, eating up there. Justin Day's August push to Harris and contact into Kevin Winker. Big one off of 2. You felt it coming. And that there was some contact from, I think it was Justin Day into the back of Paul Harris off of turn 2. We watch this here. So Harris goes up high. Day just drives straight in the back of him and all hell breaks loose. And the issue now for Kevin Winker, our championship leader, this is going to drop him right to the back of the field. This is probably the worst time this could have happened to him.
It's still pretty early in this race. I think he's got more than enough time to rebound, but he is going to have to use that fast repair more than likely.
Well, there's no meatball on it. The only car with a meatball right now is Nate Owen. Luckily for Nate. Everyone else, they were pretty lucky to get out of that. We'll see what race control say about it. To confirm, the number 91 got the EOL penalty. Oh no, sorry. Well, sorry. Reread. I read that wrong. The 29 got that EOL penalty for that contact with the 91. So Trey Martin had an EOL. They're also going to be reviewing the lap 64 restart for drivers laying back off the leader. And our race controller, Brian, right now is about to rule, I believe, on this previous incident right now, Magnus. But I think if anyone's going to get it, it might be Justin Day for the contact with Harris there.
It'll be interesting to see.
Oh, God. The race has decided more Stone Cold impressions, apparently, because it's just given us another caution. It was too good that they had to get more.
Yeah, this is what I've wanted.
Yeah.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Smathers is stopping a mud hole in the mid-pack. Single digits, and he's just getting warmed up. What? Let them pit. Smathers is staying out to maximize the gap. By the time their tires are up to temp, he'll be in a different zip code. Calculated lethal.
So the confirmation lap 65. 15 overestimates corner exit, slows down to not hit the wall, gets hit from behind by the 10. The 10 gets hit by the 4. hitting the 10 back into the 15, causing the 15 to hit the wall and spin. No penalty, though, for that one there. So a racing incident off that one there, Magnus, which I think is a fair call. A little bit of, domino effect from it. Just a slight mistake. An unfortunate timing, and I think if you gave Day or McCurdy a penalty for that, it's not really fair because they didn't really have time to take evasive action of Harris slowing there at turn 2. So third caution of this race, second race caution. Thus far we've had one previously for the stage end as well. We went the first stage without a single caution. And as soon as we get an image of the pace truck, it's like the driver decided, I want to do more laps tonight. And it's paid off some drivers right now just to call some cautions so he can get some laps into this thing. Bailey Brown and Nick Mercer are on the front row. McKellar, Adams, Hullett, Hatch, Smathers, Rinker, Pruitt, James. That's the top 10 for this restart. And pitting under that last caution could help those drivers who came in at 66. Now that we've had another one so soon afterwards. Green flag though, restart zone lights up once again. It's 52 laps to go here at Gateway towards the race end. And it's Magnus's favourite lap number. It's number 69.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's a good start there from
Not
Brannan.
as good as
He's broken away.
1776.
Oh, yes, of course. So Brannan's now broken away from McKellar. It's already out to 1.1 seconds, by the way, so McKellar is struggling for pace here tonight. Cliff Adams on his heels. We've got Mercer, Hatch, Rinker, Hullett, Smathers and Pruitt all battling away as well. There's Charles Rinker and Jesse James and Rob Stevens Jr. in behind them as well. As Smathers looks for an inside run here on Hullett. Late dive. Forces Hullett wide. The 5 goes through. Can his former teammate of Pruitt follow him as well? As Rinker slaps the wall off of turn 2.
That restart there, though, the bottom line didn't look to go.
Smathers is struggling under brakes there at turn 3. Pruitt sent it in, made it work. And now looks to get past Blake Hullett. Just see this gaggle of cars fighting. There's Jordan Miller further back as well, going for a move. So ride through turn 1 and 2 once more. Cody Pruitt holding onto it at this stage. Stevens is caught out wide. There is Kevin Winker, championship leader, having to fight forward now through this field. He's not going to have an easy run of it here, Magnus, to get himself back up to a race-winning position.
I think he can scoot back up there. I think he's fine.
We'll have to hope and see. I mean, we know he's got the pace, and he can often strategize his way out of a hole, but he's going to have work to do if he wants to make that work out for him, as we've got less than 50 to go. Oh, that's Harris up in the wall. Harris up in the wall. Big damage on the 15.
I couldn't tell who that was, but he got a big shot in shorts from someone behind him.
So, okay, hang on. So, there's Day. So, it's actually Day and Harris again who've made contact here into turn 1. So, Day comes in,
Big shot.
drills the back of Harris, and Harris goes up into the wall off the exit and has now got major damage on that car, and I don't believe a caution was called. It wasn't, so this is now a forced green flag stop for Harris. This is horrible for him at this point in the race.
That is not a preferred way to pass here at Gateway.
No, it looks like he's forgotten the keys to the gate to try and get past.
Honestly, it reminds me of how people pass at the Gateway Dirt Nationals here in St. Louis. Look it up if you have a chance. They race inside of the old St. Louis Stadium here in St. Louis. It is amazing. Late model and modified racing.
Ooh. So Paul Harris, by the way, I think he's taking a full service right now. He is. So full service for Harris. So it means that he's only going to need a splash to get to the end of this race now with him being 10 away from that critical lap. So he's only going to need about 10 laps of fuel when he comes in again. and he's
Well,
managed
here's
to
a
keep
big
it.
question: Does he try to save and get a better finish out of saving?
Could he save
'Cause
10
if
laps
he
though? 'Cause
starts
that's a lot
now,
of fuel.
If he started now, he could.
That's a tough ask, especially with green flag running. Like, he would have to run 46 laps to the end of the race. He's going to have to save probably nearly 2 gallons of fuel to get that car home. And how much time would he give up trying to save that fuel as well? I mean, that's a really difficult ask. The bonus
At
is
least 14 seconds.
Well, if he got more cautions, so the thing is, right, he would need, every caution will save him 2 laps of fuel. So he would need 5 cautions to get him home from this point. That's a pretty tough ask, knowing that we've gone green the majority of the way. I don't know. I don't know if that can happen.
Nothing's impossible.
Nothing's impossible, that's true. But he will only need a splash, though, to get that car home. Difficulty now is, though, he's nearly 2 laps down on the race leader. There's Brannon, there's Harris, so he's at risk of going 2 laps down. And if he does get a caution, he's not going to get the wave around because Nate Owen is technically the lucky dog at this stage as Pruitt gets loose and goes low on Hatch here in towards turn 3. Oh, switch back though for Hatch. Apparently Magnus, a good friend Jack Anderson, fellow Anderson of yours, thinks you could do a great Macho Man impression.
I probably could. I mean, that is my brother from down south. We have had a long talk, and we are long lost brothers.
Long lost brothers. Just
You
trying
proved to me that Australia
reconnect.
isn't full of communists.
No, we're not. We're not.
You guys got V8 supercars. It's badass. And your burnout cars. Phenomenal. Chef's kiss.
Australia has the best burnouts in the world. I will hear no other comments because that would be blasphemous to claim otherwise. It is a true claim that when Australians go to the US and do burnouts, apparently people's brains melt. That is a real issue across the US. We've got 42 to go in this race. About to hit lap 80. So nearly 41 laps left to the good. Can any of them save some fuel to get home? Paul Harris would have to save a world of fuel. He came in on technically 72. So he has to save 13 laps of fuel if he wanted to make that work. I don't think he's going to have it in him to do that ultimately. But Brandon right now under pressure here from McKellar as they fight for the race lead. But ultimately, as we know, Magnus, there's no point fighting for the race lead right now. You're not going to win it right now. You're going to win it in 40 laps time when you get to the checkered flag.
I agree, but if looking at the timing and scoring and kind of where people sit, if I had to put a bet on someone, I think Cliff Adams can get it done.
He's in a great spot, honestly. I mean, he's a very talented driver. Proved himself in the
His lap
first
times
round.
aren't too far off.
Yeah, they're not too far off. 34-1 the last lap. Oh, the top two are running in the 33s. Mike Rinker's got some good pace tonight, by the way. He's putting pressure on him now, 34.0.
Oh, yeah.
So good to see Mike having some pace and a good run after his first couple of rounds. This is what he needs. But, it looks to me that 325 Racing can only afford to have 3 cars do well each week. In the first 2 weeks, it's been Mike that's been the wrong side of history for that team. But is it finally his week to put it all together and get himself a podium? It could be. He's looking strong. And Mike's often a strong late season runner. So if anyone's going to benefit from a chase format, it is Mike. But he's got to get himself within the chase to fight for the championship.
Yeah, no, I agree. I got to figure out a way to keep in the chase here to fight for a championship after these few weeks in Canada. So,
I think you'll be able to. I think if knowing where your average finish is, I think you should be able to stay within whatever amount of drivers they have for it. That's true. Whatever the amount of drivers they have for the chase format, because I'm not actually 100% sure. I'd have to ask them. If it's top 16, then well,
Ooh,
you know, you should be able to get top 16
down the backstretch.
Yeah, Smathers and Mercer are battling away for this position at the back end of the top 10. They've got Charles Rinker, Robert Stevens ahead of them. Up 14 positions is Stevens. Rinker up 16. McKellar up 18 into the race lead. Who would have thought after his qualifying that he'd be up here at this point of the race, as the top 4 are separated by less than a second right now. Unbelievably close in the battle for the race lead, as we're 1 lap away from critical to get these cars home on one more stop. And now the question beckons, do you wait for a caution or do you come in under green? Do you go as long as possible here, Magnus?
You come in this lap.
Yeah.
I think you come in this lap if you're Ryan Hatch, if you're Pruitt, a little bit off, but not that far off. I think this is your best bet to jump them.
Take your tyres as well, I would say. You're not guaranteed to have a late caution and a late opportunity to take your extra set if you've got one. You just take them now. Yeah, you take them now, push on, hope for the best. It's probably the cleanest gamble you're ever going to make. Ryan Hatch is in. Is Ryan listening to us? And he's just listening to something you just told him, Magnus.
He probably is. I mean, Ryan has always been my guy to when do I pit, when do I pit, when do I pit? And he's always usually the one that gives me the good answer. So telepathically, we might have been speaking to each other. I don't know.
Is that on your phone plan? Has Verizon found out that you're messaging telepathically at this point? Because I'm sure they would like to charge you for that.
Well, actually, shameless plug here, Hatch telepathy services are available in the United States and Canada.
If you need some branding, shoot me a message. We'll get some branding for that one done. Jesse James is into pit lane now as well, who previously came in to get this car fixed up after a 26.7 second stop on his last run through pit lane. So he has previously been in to fix this car from some damage. Charles Rinker in now as well, so some more stops coming. Justin Day into pit lane. We'll see if these undercuts can work once again. Hullett's in, Linger's in. McKellar remains at the front end of the field and remains to push on with 33 laps to go. We're within critical, and we are within the end of this race to the checkered flag flying here out at Gateway for the Dirt Artist Excavations 150. And if one driver wants to finish on the podium tonight, it's the man that sponsored this race, Cody Pruitt. He wants the win, and he wants to win his race that he sponsored here at Gateway.
He might have the speed to get it done. We'll have to see where he kind of comes out after everybody's made their pit stop. I think where he's sitting right now, he'll probably come out 7th. But if we have a late race caution, I think this will mix everything back up.
Well, if we get
and
a
we
caution,
also have to think about where's Winker.
Well, that's right. Where is Winker? He is back in P10, but he needs his stop. So he sits back here inside of the top 10. There is Charles Rinker, who's just unlapped himself on Kevin. But the longer this race goes on, the worse it gets for Kevin Winker. The more that he runs out of opportunity to win the race for the 3rd time in the last 4 runs. Great way to start out his season. As McKellar's now in, so race leader enters pit road with 31 to go. Cliff Adams is pushing on for another lap. Brannon's in. Mike Rinker's in. Cody Pruitt pushes on. Stevens pushes on. Mercero pushes on. Smathers is in. Miller continues. Winker continues, as does... Well, Trey Martin comes in. Ryan Hatch has pushed on as well, but he's already pitted, and in fact, he's now gotten past Charles Rinker after this push stop here. And we'll see now where they can end up in comparison to Brannon, McKellar, Rinker, Smathers and Martin. They've come into pit road and you would assume will be taking tyres on this stop. McKellar is, Rinker is, Smathers is, Brannon has, and Martin is. So all getting fresh sets here towards the end of this race, Magnus.
Yep.
So Brannon exits ahead of McKellar. So in fact, he's actually jumped him. He's taken less fuel, so Brannon's actually calced his fuel, and I think he's only taken right sides. It's only a 10-second stop. That's not enough for a full set. So he's taken track position with right side tyres as he exits right amongst Will McKellar. Oh, he's got Will McKellar just in behind him, and he's just come out right alongside the leaders as Pruitt comes in. As does Stevens. Cliff Adams has pushed on once again.
If Cliff was smart, he'd pit here. Take his lap.
Miller and Rinker have continued on. And the rest of the field, of course, have taken their fresh set at this stage of the race. Is Bailey Branton the corrected race leader? Or is anyone going to be able to challenge here with Cliff Adams at the front end of town needing that next pit stop? Of course, Miller and Rinker can go a lot longer than what Adams can. They've last pitted on 66. Adams pitted on 52. But Brannon is currently chasing them down and gaining time of them. If it remains green, Magnus, this is only going to hurt Kevin Rinker and Jordan Miller. If it goes to a caution, that will save them at this point of the race to give them a free stop to get home.
Yeah, but you got to also think, who has tires left?
Yeah, that's true.
If we have a caution, who has tires left?
Well, Cliff Adams is now in. Kevin Rinker continues on. Jordan Miller's in as well. So the stops are coming. Where is Cliff going to end up in comparison to Brannon, who's just exited turn 2? Kevin Rinker leads. Is he going to continue to lead this race once he runs through pit road? Statistically, it says no. As McKellar and Brannon battle for the race lead. Into turn 1, McKellar now takes it back from Brannon. Miller and Adams have exited. They've exited behind Ryan Hatch, Charles Rinker, Cody Pruitt, Mike Rinker, and then there's Cliff Adams back in P8. So that's where he's come out. In fact, he's also going to drop to Justin Day, Robert Stevens. Yeah. He's got the freshest tyres, though. That is the true point. But they're only 2 laps newer than what Robert Stevens are. How much can that pay off for him? Must say, though,
they're probably 5 to 10 laps fresher than our leaders right now.
They're 4 laps fresher than McKellar and Brannon's. They're about 7 laps fresher than Rinker, and they're nearly 10 laps fresher than Ryan Hatch. So there are a couple of drivers that they're much, much fresher than, and there's others where they're only slightly fresher. Martin and Linger, who made contact earlier in the race, they battle for good positioning here further down the order. As pressures begin to build throughout this race, who is going to benefit us? These guys are actually now unlapping themselves on Kevin Rinker. So Rinker is not sitting in a good spot right now. He's only going to drop more and more spots here towards the end with 23 to go. Will McKellar, 1.6 seconds to Bailey Brannon. Is he burning these tyres up too much? Or has Brannon just not got the pace for him at this stage, knowing that he only took right side tyres on the last run through pit lane? Could it be Charles Rinker to sneak on by him? Kevin Rinker, he is struggling on these tyres right now. He last came in on lap 66, as we said. His tyres are probably 30 laps old, knowing that we had a caution at that point of the race. This car is not healthy right now in terms of its tyre wear, and he is chewing up time. McKellar's already gained nearly 4 seconds on him in the span of about 2 laps here, Magnus, so Kevin is
he's doing his best.
He's doing his best, but where is this going to place him, knowing that he'll have the freshest tyres of the lot at the late point of the race? But if there's no caution to bolster the field back together again, will he get any real advantage out of it? Ooh! John Roberts!
It looks like we might have one.
Yeah, John Roberts has just gone round right in front of Jesse James. Will the caution get thrown by race control, knowing that that car's gone to the inside on the infield there? It's not been called. Jeez, can you imagine if it had? P17 and P18 and down would be trapped a lap down right now.
Would have made it definitely interesting. I think there's some debris out there.
I have to wonder if there is. Probably a bit of rubber tear off from the wheels that's been marbled across the road. The rear end on Robert's car is getting super loose now. He as well is only on right sides. He did a 10.5 second stop on the last run through. Kevin Rinker continues to push here as we've hit lap 102 of 120. And for McKellar, he continues to shrink that gap. It's now down to 14.3 seconds to the race lead. It's Justin Day, Justin McCurdy. They've run through the field together up 7 positions. They now look to sneak both their cars into the top 10 with Robert Stevens Jr. right ahead of them. And 19 laps to go. How short of a splash is Kevin Rinker going to need to get this car home, knowing that he's been fuel saving it to no end? It's a big push and it's a big gamble. Will it pay off for Rinker to get himself a top 10? The beautiful thing is, for Rinker, neither Pruitt or Harris is in a race-winning position, so they're not going to gain a whole chunk of points on him, but he is going to drop some very important points to cars behind him when he does come out. The difficulty will then be is he'll still remain in the championship lead, but it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the gap that he would have hoped to have pulled coming out of Gateway here tonight, leading into Pocono in 2 weeks' time.
You can't have every race go perfect for you.
Yeah,
it's overcoming, overcoming obstacles is part of the game too, and it seems like he's doing a pretty good job. We'll see where he filters out before the end of the race.
But we'll see if he can filter out of it before the end, with 16 to go now when he crosses the line. Brannon and Mike Rinker battle away here with Charles Rinker ahead of them. And this is an interesting point now. Does Charles help his teammate Bailey, or does he help his brother Mike? Knowing that Mike is an opponent technically this season, will he give some favour to his own teammate, or will he give favour to his own flesh and blood? The back end point here of this one out at Gateway. It's been a phenomenal race thus far for them. They've really pushed on well, and it's been great to see from those drivers to be, racing so strong here at Gateway after the first few rounds of the season. And they've done a hell of an effort to really keep themselves in control tonight, Magnus, and keep it clean, and it's great to see. It honestly is. I mean, a very proud moment is Kevin Rinker. He's into pit lane, by the way. So Kevin's in. Harris has had to come in. Remember, he needed that splash to the end, so they've both come in for their splashes. But Kevin now lines it up, puts it in pit lane. He'll put tyres on this car, but how far is he going to drop? Well, right now the loss is looking to be massive. He's going to be down at about P18, P19 after this stop. He will have the freshest tyres out of the lot of them, but he's only got 16 laps to do anything with it. And the one thing Kevin Rinker would be hoping for right now is that he gets a caution. That's the one thing he wants. I've just noticed as well the timing has frozen on us, so we'll quickly give a bit of a refresh to it. The lap counter is not frozen, but the actual timing is frozen, so we'll try and reload. Get it nice and set up for us as well. Restart it. Maybe not. So McKellar into our race lead. We've got Mike Rinker in P2. As Charles Rinker battles away with him as well. Just really restart. Find this off.
The
man.
Cliff Adams, man, he's been really fast. I don't know if he has
has.
enough time to get to the lead, but he might be able to pull a top 2.
I think I don't know if you can get a race win at this point. But he can definitely challenge. Oh, I think there might be a server issue for SDK because it's just booted me out of it. Hopefully it doesn't boot me out again. Yep, it did. Okay, that's great. Now that we have a server issue for SDK. It means that I have no timing to call this race off of, so that's helpful. Let me double check the SDK website. But what we are seeing is Will McKellar is still in the race lead at this stage. Can he hang on to the race end?
Is there a caution?
I think there is a caution because he's going slow. I think there is one. Yeah, there is. So the caution truck's out there.
There it is.
That is a lifeline for Kevin Rinker. A massive lifeline for Winker now. That is huge.
Cliff Adams, man, he's there. These guys who have an extra set of tires, this might play into their benefit. I think everyone's going to come down who has a set.
They might do. McKellar's in. Mike Rinker's in. Cliff Adams in.
This is going to get spicy, folks.
It is. Look at that. Paul Harris is in as well, knowing he needs to try and get a lap back here. Charles Rinker, Bailey Braddon, Cody Pruitt have all stayed out. So is Robert Stevens Jr. Justin Day, Justin McCurdy, Henson stayed out as well as McKellar enters pit road. And just to confirm, STK has got a server issue because their website will not even load for me, so that's helpful. So we're going to have to call this one off.
Well, break out the pen and paper.
That's what we're going to need is some pen and paper right now.
A little live scoring.
Yeah, the live scoring as best we can. So we do apologise that we currently have no timing for you. There is a server issue.
I believe the 6, the 9. There's a few cars who stayed out.
Quite a few cars stayed out at the front end.
This is going to get real spicy.
Oh, it will indeed. It's going to get spicy. It's going to get tight. It's going to get tough for those drivers looking to battle for proper position here. We'll get ready for a restart. Right now, I'm just hoping and praying that SDK can have their servers fixed like straight away, because otherwise we're just going to have to run with this as it is. So pace truck is going to come in. It is Charles Rinker, Bailey Brannon in the top 2. And all Bucket Motor Club top 2 right now as they battle for a race win with Cody Pruitt and others in behind them.
Well, I'll tell you this, it's time to use the chrome horn if you got it.
Get your chrome horn out there. The battle for a race win.
Patience out the window.
Patience out the window. Now you've got to try and push on. As Charles Rinker gets us back underway. And we fight for it once again. Oh, contact, Adams. Oh, it's a big one. Winker's in the wall. Kevin Rinker in the wall. McCullough, Dave, Mike Rinker as well. This is big to the end of this race. And unfortunately, we're going to have to... We're going to have to...
Unfortunately.
I know. And unfortunately, we're going to have to call it off of the iRacing overlays at this stage. I do apologise for that. We've got a server issue with our timing software. This is the best we got right now.
That was like everybody up front.
Well, Cody Pruitt's coming out the other side of it.
Pruitt came out. I think Hatch. So did Cliff Adams. Nope. I think he got damage.
Well, Pruitt's coming in. Charles Rinker is currently the race leader, so he has held on to it at this stage.
I think he's on those old tires. So he's a sitting duck. Who's going to line up behind him? That's the true question. Looks like Bailey's going to line up.
Yeah, he's hanging on to this top end spot. Once again, we do apologise for the fact that we don't have our proper timing up. It's an issue with this, with the actual software that is limiting our ability to actually be able to produce this race correctly right now. I will continue to try and open it and see if it will reload for us. Charles Rinker's out there. Hopefully this remains open. Nope, it's not. There it goes. Helpful SDK, thank you. So Charles Rinker in the race lead. Bailey Brandon P2, Robert Stevens Jr. P3, Justin Day, Cliff Adams, Ryan Hatch, Nick Mercer, Zach Smathers, Jordan Miller, Jesse James. That is the top 10 as we prepare for the restart here.
I don't think it's over.
I don't think it is. I think there's plenty of racing still left in this thing. I mean, we're lap 117 of 120. We are so close to the end, it's not even funny. I mean, it's going
to be haymakers all the way to the end.
I think so. I think it's going to be sends. We could be in for a green-white checkered possibly as well, Magnus. Incredibly tight and incredibly close for those drivers out there to maximise their positioning. I think Mr. Winker's out there with us. Saying had a fast car again, just that pit road issue messed up his race, so I believe Kevin Rinker is now out of this one.
Unfortunate to hear. Love racing with that guy.
As I said,
well, here we go.
Software issue tonight for our timing softwares. This is the best we can do for the final few laps. This one here at Gateway. It is green flag once again as Charles Rinker gets us back underway with Bailey Braddon in behind him, Justin Day as well, Ryan Hatch, Stevens Jr. Watch Cliff Adams though as he went for a move then in behind. 3 wide through turn 1 and 2. Smathers and Adams battling for it to get to the top 5. Smathers has just snuck ahead now. There is Hatch right in front of him. And the teammates will look to work together here, but Justin Day's been caught on the outside as Smathers enters turn 3. Rinker into the race lead. Can he leave this race with perfect points, Magnus? And with 2 laps to go, if we get a caution now, it'll go green-white checkered. Smathers to the inside of Hatch at 1. Can he get on the podium? With Braddon right there. Braddon holding Hatch up. Contact's made. Hatch has spun him round. Hatch has spun Braddon around. Caution's out. Right in the way of Smathers. And that might be an EOL penalty coming the way of Ryan Hatch.
It looked like Smathers was going to use him as a pick, and it looked like Hatch was just going off the corner. We'll have to see.
That's tough to see. Yeah, number 87. Hullett has been given an end-of-line penalty for a previous incident. You'd assume that was for the last caution that we saw, Magnus.
Oh, probably. Let's see where this filters out. I don't think we're done from here either.
I don't think we are. So, corrected order right now is Charles Rinker, Ryan Hatch, Zach Smathers. That's the top three. Cliff Adams in behind them as well for the top four. Then it's Justin Day, Jesse James, Will McKellar. Now this will reset at the end of this next lap because this will set the positioning. And once again, yeah, Hatch got into the back of Brannon, was it? It was Bailey, I believe it was, Magnus?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Just drilled the back of him through turn 2 and he spun round. That's racing, it happens, of course. So it is
I think your scoring might be...
No, the scoring's just reset itself, so the SDK
oh, yeah,
one's not working.
See it.
So in iRacing it sets every lap, so it's not actually live. So to update off
Well, I
the
was
end of
able
this
to get
lap.
into SDK.
Okay.
It actually booted up.
Okay, let's see if I can boot mine. Well, it didn't pause. That's a good sign. It's working. Okay.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Could not have come at a better time, I must say. To come right at the end of the race for us. There we go. Ah, lovely.
I think unfortunately they're giving Hatch the EOL on that one.
Yeah.
That's a rough night for him. He had a good car.
That is a rough night.
It's a racing deal. You got picked, and if you lift, you lose more. So I think what he did was what he had to do, but unfortunately it just didn't play out the way he wanted it to.
Yeah, I think as well it's it's a world of it's a game of margins, isn't it? And unfortunately sometimes the margin is just not the correct one, or you're just off slightly. That's racing, unfortunately.
Oh, when you get a pick like that, the best thing you can do is push the car in front of you. And unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Well, we'll see how this plays out now. It is Charles Rinker and Zach Smathers battling for a possible race win with Justin Day, Cliff Adams, Will McKellar inside of the top 5. There's Jesse James, Jordan Miller, Nick Mercero, Robert Stevens, and Bailey Brannon is inside of the top 10. We have got an all-time green-white checkered finish to come here at Gateway. Pace truck is in. First green-white checkered attempt now to be made. As we're going overtime at Gateway. Lap 123 out of 124. Do we get there? As it's a great restart from Rinker.
Inside line didn't go.
They didn't go. It's a great restart from Rinker. Justin Day has gone with him now. Watching McKellar as well. Smathers to the inside. Can they hang on for one more lap to get us to the white flag? There you see Cliff Adams challenging to Smathers as well. They're nearly 4 wide as Smathers hangs on. McKellar now up into P2. Are they going to get the white flag? Are we going to get one more attempt? There's one more attempt! Another caution! Ryan Hatch has got a... Cody Pruitt. Cody Pruitt's got a meatball flag. What has happened to Pruitt back here to get this meatball? Oh, that car's already gone.
It's already destroyed.
Yeah, what's happened? So you had Trey Martin to his outside. There's Hatch. Oh, okay, I see. So Hatch comes down, gives a little door to Martin. That then crescendos down and breaks Pruitt's car, and I think that's what's actually caused the caution. Because further, although Hatch, what has Hatch just done then?
I don't know what to say to that one.
I mean, Magnus, what I can say is Hatch has just drilled the side of Harris's car.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that's... I mean, from an outside view, surely that looks like he's just come in and hit him. Like,
there might have been something more to that. Who knows?
I don't really know much more there could be. He's entered the corner, you know, and then used him as a brake. Visually, that's what I'm seeing.
Well, I'm not saying that's not what we're seeing. I'm just saying there might have been something that we didn't see on camera. Either way, probably not the best way to handle your aggression.
I've just seen a comment from Jack Anderson in the chat with us here. Magnus upgraded from Danica Hatch to Ryan Logano out there, apparently, according to Jack Anderson. So,
brother, you can't put down my buddy like that. Hey, we all get mad.
We do all get mad. So we've got another green-white checkered attempt here, and I would assume a drive-through penalty for the 56 of Ryan Hatch, based on that. So off of his EOL, he's now been given a drive-through. So Hatch will have to come down pit lane and serve that one. If he fails to serve the black flag, he would get disqualified from this race. So for Hatch, he's got to commit to it. And he's got to do it on the green lap when we get to green flag. So it's a tough break for Hatch, but unfortunately for him, due to crime, he's then got to do the time according to race control. Tight battle at the front now. And I know that you've been saying, Magnus, you think Cliff Adams could have this one. I do agree with you that he is a challenger. Is there anyone else at the front end, though, that you think is going to challenge this? Because right now, Charles Rinker looks strong. McKellar looks strong.
I would love to see Charles get a dub here, but I really think Cliff... I really think Cliff can get it done, too. Same with McKellar. I think McKellar could get it done, but... I really think Rinker's had really good restarts, and that's all he needs.
We'll see if he can pay it off this time. He's now going to go up against McKellar on this next green-white checkered attempt. As it's green flag, 2 to go.
Got him.
Lap 126 and 128, and it's a hot restart from Rinker to the outside. As he comes through turn 1 once again, McKellar tucks up into P2. Adams into P3. Smathers is in P4 with his teammate James right there with him as well. Who is going to make this one last? Oh, big move up towards turn 3. Rinker under pressure here from McKellar.
Little bump.
Oh, are they going to get to the white flag? Doors are being thrown. It's 3 wide down the straight. White flag, Adams gone loose. In the wall goes Adams. And James and Smathers now fighting for podium. Teammates together. Charles Rinker into the race lead again. What is going to happen at the end of Gateway? It's been absolute chaos. As they enter towards turn 3. Rinker holds on.
I think he's got it.
I think he's got it. But what about P2? Is Smathers going to challenge for P2 here against McKellar? As they run down to... Oh, McKellar hits the wall. McKellar hit the wall. Smathers up to P2. Rinker wins it to Zach Smathers and Will McKellar on the podium. Unbelievable. What a close one to the end. 0.025 of a second between P2 and P3 at the line. James in P4, Rinker, Day, Miller, Adams, Hullett and Brannan, the top 10. What a race to the end there, Magnus. Unbelievable.
I'm really happy for Charles.
That's a great win for Charles Rinker. Won the stage, won the race. Zach Smathers up 11 into P2 and McKellar up 16 into P3. What a drive from our podium finishers. Unbelievable stuff. There you see it, our podium for the evening. 3 different teams represented on the podium. And it's a great point total for Bucket Motor Club and Charles Rinker. What a win for that car. And what a win for that team here at Gateway, Magnus. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, a little bit into the wall.
That's the way to do it.
Gotta break the rear end so it'll pass tech.
A solid race win for Charles Rinker in what was and what became a classic here tonight out at Gateway for the Dirt Artist Excavations. 150 miles of Gateway here. There's the results for this race. Charles Rinker P1 to Zach Smathers in P2 with Will McKellar in P3. Jesse James comes home in P4 ahead of Mike Rinker in P5. Justin Day, Jordan Miller, the top 7 to Cliff Adams, Blake Hullett and Bailey Brannan, the top 10. Robert Stevens Jr. comes home in P11 ahead of Nick Mercero, John Roberts. Stephen Linger and Austin Stamper, the top 15. Ryan Hatch ahead of Trey Martin, Nate Owen, Damon Marotta, Dalton Henson for the top 20. Pruitt, Harris, Winker and McCurdy, the back end of the field here tonight. Will McKellar, most positions gained, up 16. Kevin Winker led the most laps of 44, had the fastest lap as well. Hatch off of pole position here tonight too for Gateway once again. Let's have a quick chat to our podium finishers, beginning with P3 in Will McKellar. Will, welcome in. P3 on the road tonight. Great performance from yourself and a great run home as well. Points on the board. An unfortunate wall tap, though, at the final corner arguably cost you the P2 finish there in the end, but ultimately it's a great finish here for P3 on the road. How was that one for you, sir?
That went from the most concerning race I've probably ever had, starting in the rear at a track I am terrible at, to feeling like king of the world, leading all those laps, to wanting to punch somebody in the face because they couldn't keep it together for 10 laps, and the eight couldn't keep it out of my left rear, the talentless hack. To hell with the wall hit. It was the impact to my left rear, because he can't keep control of his car, that cost me any positions.
Well,
I ain't happy.
Well,
I believe you're not happy. Does this carry over to other races? You think your displeasure will be shown at Martinsville at that All-Star race?
I will continue to show everyone the respect that I have endeavored to show everyone, but if he's racing for a championship, I might get tight under him once or twice. I don't know. I haven't decided. But think back to last season. I get run over every freaking race for the first 5 races. I kept my cool. It's what I plan on doing. But I think the 8's going to get a few less breaks from me from here on out.
Gotta race people how you race them, but you got a solid finish today. I know it's not what you wanted, but you got a week off to calm down and recoup for Pocono. How are you feeling about Pocono?
Pocono's actually one of my better tracks on the circuit. There's a bunch of tracks that we have coming up that I'm really looking forward to. Pocono is one of them. Believe it or not, going into Pocono, unfortunately, we don't have Austin Call with us anymore, and he's someone that going there, I'm really worried about. I know the number 9, my teammate Mike Rinker, he's really good at Pocono, so I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. But I love that track.
Well, we hope that it's going to pay off for you, Will. We'll be able to see you get a race win as well. Solid points on the board for yourself here in P3 here tonight. Understandably, we got some beef going forward now with the 8 entry of Charles Rinker, but we'll see if that lends itself to some good on-track battles. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go this evening?
Well, I got to thank God above. I really have to thank my wife. She's going through a really tough pregnancy right now, and we're getting really close to the end. So any time that she lets me be indisposed for a few hours is absolute grace on her part. So more than anybody, I got to thank her, because if she wasn't okay with this, I wouldn't be doing it.
Well, we appreciate your time, Will. We wish you the best of luck at Pocono in 2 weeks' time. Enjoy the week off and preparations for that one. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
See you then. Next up, we have P2 this evening in Mr. Zach Smathers. Zach, welcome in. P2 on the road, buddy. What a race,
we did that one.
Up and
But
down. Up and down race all throughout. I don't know how you've done that. Your wife was in the chat with us all night, cheering you on. There was some stone cold impressions in there at times. It's unbelievable drive. Well done.
Well, that's good game plan is what that came down to. Yeah, we were kind of sitting there middle of the pack towards the end, about 20 laps to go. Paul kind of ate the wall there, brought that caution out, and it let us get that last set of tires on there. And man, we were smoking. It had to get dicey, and really had to drive that thing in there. But oh, man, that was tough. And all the tracks I thought I'd get a podium or get podiums, this was definitely not one of them after practice all week. So I'm pumped. I'm so pumped.
Well, you've got a week now off to deal with the pump from that. 2 weeks until the next race at Pocono, of course. A good finish, a good set of points as well. Disappointing for your teammate Paul, who was in the wars tonight as well.
Yeah. Rough for Paul and Trey, but Jesse got up there with us and really gave her hell, and really stoked about that. Paul and Trey were doing good. They would have been up there with us too if they had not gotten in accident trouble. But just like a fantastic game plan, absolutely fantastic game plan that this came down to. You don't have to be the fastest, but a little bit of luck involved and just playing smart, and you can win races. So I'm just thrilled, just absolutely thrilled.
Well, Zach, we appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming and have a chat to us as well. Wish you the best of luck at Pocono in 2 weeks' time. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Jesse, Paul, Trey, the best teammates I could ever ask for. And that's after being with ACR last year with Cody and Robert and Nate. I couldn't have asked for a better group of guys that I've been racing with last season, this season. You, especially putting this team together and kind of leading us and all that stuff. I appreciate the hell out of you. Kelsey Cold, Stone Cold over here. Thank you for cheering me on all race. All my friends that watched, love you guys. I hope I put on a show for you.
Well, before we let you go, I'm going to quickly read one of the transcripts of Stone Cold comments from your wife out there with us.
Smathers is talking trash and taking names. Tell the world that the baddest son of a bitch in the field is coming for that trophy. What?
She's been on a roll recently, so we'll see what who enters the chat next race.
It might be a Jesse the Body Ventura possibly in the next one as well.
I don't know if anybody can replicate that one. That's
You
gonna be a
don't
tough
know
call.
when I'm going to show up. I may just randomly appear.
Well, he's sponsoring a race here later on the year, so we'll see if he shows up.
Yeah, we'll see. But Zach, congratulations, well done. Best of luck in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hamish. Thank you, Magnus.
Thank you.
Well, finally, Magnus, we've got the other end of the beef that we spoke about with Will McKellar in Charles Rinker, our race winner here this evening. He does the double with the stage win, the race win. Charles, the strategy came together, but there's some beef coming out of this race. Will McKellar is not a happy man with you, sir, after that one, but you're the one that's taken home the race win, and you're the one that's taken home perfect points out of Gateway. How's that win for you?
Dude, it's on another level. You know, I've never won a league race, and to be able to do it in my own league is awesome. I hate that for McKellar, but I'm on old tires there. I mean, I gotta rub him. Like, I mean, either that or I just let him go around the outside. You know, if he has to race me like that, I'll take it. But I thought I really had a really good shot at it on that first green white checkered, the first official green white checkered. When they got 3 wide racing, then we had another caution, and I thought all hopes were lost, but I managed to get it done.
Somehow you did.
I think you ran them clean for making your car wide, at least. I mean, it was within reason.
We hit doors perfectly square.
You weren't like darting across the track either, and like you weren't. I think back to when Mike won a race last season, and he was probably darting back about 3 times across the road to defend his position. It wasn't like that, where you were all over the road trying to stop him from running through. I think it was just tight racing. You know, tight racing to the end. Could have gone either way.
Yeah, that's how I look at it from my seat. But I mean, I'll look at it afterwards and see if I was too out of line. But I'm just really ecstatic for this win.
Well, it's Bucket Motor Club's first race win, and it hasn't come at the hands of Bailey Brannan. It's come at the hands of you, Charles. So there, you've got one up over Bailey. He was nearly up there with you on the podium, if not for getting spun round on the backstretch late in the race. We had difficulties of our own dealing with some timing issues at one point, but you guys were at wars as well on that track, and Gateway proved to be a good test for the whole field. Some great green running there, probably the best race of the whole season, arguably, from this position. And you guys did really, really well, so congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Bailey really helped me there towards the end there. He took only rights. It was really loose. So he was just kind of trying to defend for me, being my Dale Earnhardt at Daytona, you know. And he did a really good job of it until it was too much and he got spun out. But I appreciate him for helping me there.
Well, we appreciate you coming over to chat to us, Charles. Congratulations on the race and stage win here tonight as well. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll shout out to my mom. I know she's watching. I think my wife Hannah's watching. Shout out to her. And then mainly shout out to everyone that helps me put this on every week. Everyone that shows up every week and puts in the work. That's what makes this league great and continues to thrive. And I hope we can continue that for the near future.
We appreciate your time, Charles. Wish you the best of luck in 2 weeks' time at Pocono. Enjoy the week off next week, and congratulations on this race win.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Well, Magnus.
Well, I will say this.
Yes.
The word of the day is beef.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see how this beef goes in the Pocono in 2 weeks.
We will indeed. We'll see how it plays out. There's beef throughout the field between some drivers, I'm sure. There's some heated rivalry starting to form here for Season 2. And we'll be back again, Magnus, in a few weeks' time to call the next race of the season. So really looking forward to that one. I want to give a shout out, of course, to the series sponsors. Of course, Maconi Setup Shop, helping bring the setups to the field. Rinker Construction Remodelling as well. LifePath Realty out of the greater metro Atlanta area. Safe Electric and Plumbing as well. Callsafe.com. To us here at Infinity Broadcasting, you can help support us by clicking the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing. And then to my iRacing livery design brand, Blackheart Designs. If you want to design for iRacing, send me a message on Instagram at @HM_injection. That's at @HM_INJEXION. Or you can message me on Discord at Hamish Munro, and we'll try and get you sorted with a beautiful paint on board your car as well. I've been Hamish Munro with Magnus Anderson alongside for round 3 of Season 2 of High Side Motorsports Gen 6 Cup Series live from Gateway here this evening for the Dirt Artist Excavation's 150 miles of Gateway. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time when we head out to Pocono for the next round. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
High pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on, holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.